Welcome back to You May See Clearly in 2020. My show that I created just within the last 48 hours. And the time now is Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 26th of Wednesday, 2019. So, I yet to have some viewers live getting questions. So, which is fine because this has given me some practice on live streaming. So I stopped at Section 9 of the Constitution. Okay? Section 9. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water. Okay? Thank you. If you're You May See Clearly in 2020 video live stream blogging that has a Constitution and Declaration of Independence, it's because I'm waiting for you to ask questions and communicate with me and give me some feedback. So I'm not just doing this live feed for just purely to read a book. I'm reading and waiting for you to ask a question regarding something you may have heard me read or discuss. Okay? Thank you. And so I'm going to type in the text here saying good evening. As an example, for you to message me. Okay. Section 9. The migration of importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by Congress prior to the year of 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended, unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid less in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles expected from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. No money shall be drawn from the treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. And a regular statement and account of the receipts and expenditures of all public money shall be published from time to time. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of mark or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder ex post facto law or law impairing the obligation of contracts, grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of the Congress, lay any imposts or duties on imports or exports, except what may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws, and the net produce of all duties and imposts laid by any state on imports or exports shall be for the use of the Treasury of the United States, and all such laws shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with another state or with a foreign power, or encourage in war unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. That was Article 1. So, Article 1. Oops. Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States of America, Article 2, Section 1. That is, the executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the Vice President chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. And they shall make a list of all the persons voted for, and of the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify and transmit sealed to the seat of government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be the president, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed. And if there be more than one who have such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for president. If no person have a majority, then from the 5 highest on a list, the said House shall in like manner choose the president. But in choosing the president, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having 1 vote. Quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all the states shall be necessary to a choice. In every case, after the choice of the president, the person having the greatest number of votes of the electors shall be the vice president. But if there should remain 2 or more who have equal votes, the Senate shall choose from them by ballot the vice president. The Congress may determine the time of choosing the electors, the day on which they shall give their votes, which they shall be the same throughout the United States. No person except a national born citizen or a citizen of the United States, at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. In case of the removal of the president from office or of his death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of the said office, the same shall devolve on the vice president. And the Congress may by law provide for the case of removal, death, resignation, or inability. Both of the president and vice president declaring what officer shall then act as president, and such officer shall act accordingly until the disability be removed or a president shall be elected. The president shall at stated times receive for his services a compensation, which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected. And he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States or any of them. Before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Section 2. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. He shall have power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur, and he shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other offices of the United States, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law. But the Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the President alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The President shall have powers to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session. He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the state of the Union, and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. May, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses, or either of them, and in case of disagreement between them with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior, and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation, which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Section 2. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution. The laws of the United States and treaties made, or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, between a state or the citizens thereof in foreign states, citizens or subjects. In all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all the other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, with such exceptions and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. The trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crime shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Section 3. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainer of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Excuse me. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Section 2. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime, who shall flee from justice and be found in another state, shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. No person held to service. Excuse me. Sorry for yawning. No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. Section 3. New states may be admitted by the Congress into this Union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of two or more states, or parts of states, without the consent of the legislators of the states concerned, as well as of the Congress. Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other property belonging to the United States, and nothing in this Constitution shall be so construed as to prejudice any claims of the United States or of any particular state. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this Union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislator or of the executive when the legislator cannot be convened against domestic violence. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to the Constitution, or, on the application of the legislators of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention of proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution when ratified by the legislators of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress. provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the ninth section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. Article 6. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of the Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under the Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Article 7. The ratification of the conventions of the United States shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution. Between the states, no ratifying the same. Done in convention by the unanimous consent of the states present, the 17th day of September, in the year of our Lord, 1787, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 12th, and witness there whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names. Now, I'm not going to read all these names. Let's skip this part. Sorry. Don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm not reading all these names. Mostly the reason I'm not reading them off because I don't want to mispronounce their names. So rather just skip them. I don't know what's worse, skipping them or pronouncing their names wrong. I don't know. The convention, Monday, September 17th, 1787. Present, the states of New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Mr. Hamilton from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Resolved that the preceding Constitution be laid before the United States in Congress assembled, and that it is the opinion of this convention that it should afterwards be submitted to a convention of delegates, chosen in each state by the people thereof, under the recommendation of its legislator for their assent and ratification, that each convention assenting to and ratifying the same should give notice thereof to the United States in Congress assembled, resolving that it is the opinion of this convention that as soon as the conventions of 9 states shall have ratified this Constitution, the United States in Congress assembled should fix a day on which electors should be appointed by the states, which shall have ratified the same, and a day on which electors should assemble to vote for the president, and a time and place for commencing proceedings under this Constitution, that after such publication the electors should be appointed, and the senators and representatives elected, that the electors should meet on the day fixed for the election of the president and should transmit their votes certified, signed, sealed, and directed, as the Constitution requires, to the Secretary of the United States in Congress assembled, that the senators and representatives should convene at the time and place assigned, that the senators should appoint a president of the Senate for the sole purpose of receiving, opening, and counting the votes for president, and that after he shall be chosen, the Congress, together with the president, should, without delay, proceed to execute this Constitution. By the unanimous order of the Convention, George Washington, President, W. Jackson, Secretary. Well, that's pretty much all of this one. All of this book, anyways. I got this on the internet for free. It's the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States of America. You can get a copy of this book from CATO Institute, Cato, or I think it's Cato. Yeah, Cato Institute, 1000 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20001. If you're interested in getting a copy, write them a letter and get yourself some copies. Okay. So, where I went earlier today, around 7 o'clock, was church service, Wednesday evening church service. And I'm going to read you my notes. I'll be right back to get my notes for you. No, they're right here. I'm going to get the Bible note. So, as I have said, this blog is about politics and religion. Okay, so I've spoken on a little bit of a topic of politics already. I'm going to move on to the Bible. Okay, the topic of religion. Wednesday, June 26, 2018. The time is 11:23 and now 11:24 p.m. in the evening. So, the last chapter of Malachi is chapter 4. Malachi is the book before the New Testament of Matthew. I'm going to read chapter 4. and it's only 6 verses. Okay. At the second coming, the proud and wicked will be burned as stubble. Elijah will return before that great and dreadful day. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Hi, how are you doing? Go ahead and text me. I see I have one viewer. That's great. My name is Jonathan. How are you? What's your name? You're my first viewer, whoever you are, and I want you to know that you're very welcome to be in this chat blog regarding religion and politics. And as my gift to you for being my viewer, I'm going to give you one of these coins. If you're interested in having one, just text me a PO box or mailing address. I can send it to you for free. It's worth $1. It's a gold presidential coin. See? And I'll send it to you as being my first viewer tonight for free, completely for free. If you want me to send it to you, that is. If you don't want me to send it to you, then don't give me your mailing or PO box address. Anyways, I don't see you texting anything in the message box. How come? Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. If you're interested in what I'm reading tonight, respond in the message box with a 1. If you're not interested and you want me to change the subject matter to something other, press 2 in the message box. Please and thank you. Okay. So I have one viewer. I don't know who you are, which is okay with me. I don't need to know. But anyways, I'll keep reading. So chapter 4, at the second coming, the proud and wicked shall be burned as stubble. Elijah will return before that great and dreadful day. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Verse 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Verse 6, and last verse of chapter 4 of Malachi. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And in my notes, Malachi is said to be the last prophet. That's what it says in the Bible. The end of the prophecies, prophets, end of the prophets, not prophecies, end of the prophets. If you have any comment about that, go ahead. I'm here to listen too. And then Matthew chapter 17, 1 through 3. I appreciate you staying on and listening as long as you have. I really do. Even though you're not responding to anything I'm saying or commenting or asking questions or anything, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So Matthew chapter 17. One through 3. Jesus is transfigured before Peter, James, and John on the Mount. Jesus heals a lunatic, tells of his coming death, and pays taxes in a miraculous manner. Verse 1. And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias, talking with him. And then in Zechariah chapter 4, verses 13 and 14, chapter 4. Here we are. And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then said he, These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Zechariah chapter 4, verse 13 and 14. Then Revelation chapter 12. Okay. Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And then, in my notes, lastly, but not least, chapter 20 of Revelation, and I will proceed to read the whole chapter, verses 1 through 15 verses. It's only 15 verses. It's not very long. The topic of chapter 20 in Revelation is Satan is bound during the millennium. The saints will then live and reign with Christ. The dead stand before God and are judged out of the books according to their works. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, and having a key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again, until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God, and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, and to gather them together to battle, the numbers of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth. Verse 9. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven, and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Excuse me. Hello, how are you doing this evening? I've been on here for almost a full hour, short of approximately 9 to 10 minutes. If you want me to stay on and proceed with topic of religion and the Bible in politics, so that you may see clearly in 2020, give me a thumbs up, please. Or you can come back and another day on Monday at 5:30. Let me know if you want me to keep going. I don't know. You're not writing or anything, so I don't know. I'd like some sort of response, please. Yes, it was you, Amber. How are you doing? I just want to say it out loud what I was thinking. I thought it was either you or my dad. Thanks, Amber. Love you. So, I know your address already. You don't have to give it to me on here for you to get this. All right. You do want this coin, don't you? Okay, I'll bring it over to your house, Amber. Okay, I'm reading your text messages to Amber on the phone finally. And you don't need the coin. You said. What are you reading? Writing. Made up or true story? Oh, do you like how I got a YouTube jacket for you too? When I'm on live streaming? Very professional, isn't it? Oh, hmm. I think there's like a little thumbs up on the top left of your screen that you tick, and then it'll give you a thumbs up, or give me a thumbs up. um, that's okay, Amber. I don't need you to click a thumbs up button. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Amber. I just wanted to see if it'd work. Because I don't have any yet. But I have one viewer. It's you, Amber. So, were you online watching me while I was reading parts of this book? Or did you get on after I finished reading this? Oh, you gave me a thumbs up somehow, Amber. You figured it out. Well, I've been reading, but when you got on to watch, what was I reading? Was I reading this or parts of this? Do you remember? Oh, okay. So you've been on for a while. That's cool. Mhm. Yeah, the notes I was reading from the Bible were from Wednesday night service with Pastor Shaw, Pastor Tony Shaw. Oh, excuse me. So, about your question regarding women pastors, if it should be allowed, basically, what do I think of women pastors? What's my idea? Um, I honestly don't have an opinion about it. Um, I appreciate women teachers. Um, in churches, like well, when we have what's called Sunday school or Sunday service. Um, but for a woman pastor of a church, um, for me, I really don't have an opinion about it either way, whether it's wrong or right, because I've listened to women teachers that were very good and right on with the Gospels to the point where I listened to them as though they were a pastor. But a pastor, from what I understand, isn't a woman. It's a man because the authority figure of God, the Godhead, um, and the fact that Adam and Eve were made in Genesis from Adam first and Eve second. And Adam was the authority figure. And that's my opinion. Yeah, the book of Revelation is scary. I agree. You want me to read more of it to scare you some more? Why do you say you can see that, or that you felt it wasn't a woman's job to preach, Amber? Or at least not in church? Sane spouses. Very good. I'll be a sane spouse. Unlike, I shall not speak of their names. I hope so too, Amber, and I think it will be. Lord willing. Well, I have a job interview tomorrow afternoon. Maybe that goes well. Please. Yeah, I have a job interview with Mike Walters. Oh, I still have the first job, but I need more work, Amber. Rather than just 1 hour every 2 days. Literally, only 1 hour every 2 days. So I'm getting a job interview tomorrow at Walters IGA with Mike Walters, who may be hiring me soon for weekend positions. Yeah. If I get more hours with this possibly new job tomorrow, then it might be better to just stick with that one if it gives me enough hours and days and leave the other one. I don't know. I don't mind working 1 hour in the morning as a janitor before I go to another job. Sorry for laughing out loud. I'm just humoring my thoughts, my sense of humor, of my own self. Hold on, I'm gonna pop my back. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm thinking in a second. I was thinking humorously that I'm off tomorrow at my janitorial job, and even though I'm not scheduled to go in there tomorrow morning, I'm humorously thinking to myself, I could go in there and do a little bit of cleaning anyways, just so I can get some free soda pop to drink. Because it's a bar. And then lock up the doors again, and after I drink all my soda that I desire, and go home. Oh, I'm out of water. I'll be right back, Amber. What are you doing here? Trying to wait until the 4th to have some soda. I'm gonna take my medication for the evening. I'll be right back. I'm back. Excuse me. I only take 2 in the evening, Amber. I'm gonna take them all. No, don't correct your spelling. I like the way you spell good. Good. It's very good, Amber. Just teasing it. Amber, this is my first time ever doing a YouTube live stream, by the way. I think you know that, don't you? It's kind of interesting that we're able to do this with YouTube, isn't it? Was the storm not bad, Amber? Even hail? Wow. Yeah, what do you need, Amber? Which one is your favorite verse? You may have told me, but I don't recall. Darling. Is your favorite verse in Psalms? Is it in First Corinthians? I know what when you're talking about Amber, will you like give me the chapter and name of the book, please? My medicine's kicking in. I think I found your verse, Amber. Chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians. Verse 4. I found it, I think, Amber, and you typed chapter 3, but it's chapter 13. Okay. 4 through 8. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity. 1 Corinthians 13. Thank you, Amber. Hold on. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm back. Bug on the floor. I wasn't sure if I was getting an infestation of hornets. But it was just one hornet. You're right, Amber. I'm getting drowsy. You have a good night, okay, Amber? Thank you for being on my podcast today. God bless you. And may you see clearly in 2020.